Hey everyone, today is a little bit of a different video. You see, I have once again become distracted by something. But this time, I can turn what I got distracted by into a video. If you have been in my channel for a while, you may have been of the impression that the mods I anticipate the most are Glenmorrel and Unslat. And while yes, I am anticipating these mods a lot, there has been another mod that I anticipate above even those. There's a lot of good mods on the way, but today I want to talk about my personal favorite one, which is convenient because it just dropped an amazing new trailer which I'm gonna analyze with you today. Why am I doing this? I'm doing this because I am basically a televangelist preaching the good word to come, and the word is Apotheosis. For those of you that don't know, Apotheosis is a Skyrim mod set to release in 2025, and it is the most insane Skyrim mod I have ever heard of. And by the end of this video, I hope to show you why exactly you should be absolutely hyped for this mod. For me, this is the most hyped I am for a piece of digital content to come out at the moment. Also, there is no script for this video. I didn't write a script for an analysis. I didn't think it was necessary. So I hope you'll enjoy this more informal setting. Apotheosis is a dark fantasy story-rich open-world expansion for The Elder Scrolls V, Skyrim, set across 17 realms of oblivion. And dreams live. That's how the lead developer of the mod describes it as. There's a lot of different aspects to this mod. The lead developer is talking about how he wants different members to follow you, different quests, a hub, but today I don't want to focus on these topics. What I want to talk about today is the story behind this new mod, as it is revealed by this new trailer. Before I play the trailer and give my commentary on it, I want to focus on one key topic. This mod bases its entire story on the presupposition that the Annotated Annuad is entirely legit. If you haven't read or aren't familiar with the Annotated Annuad, I covered it during my Beyond the Reach video, so here's a timestamp to the part where I specifically read it. And with that said, let's get into the trailer. Apotheosis is basically the Greek word for ascension, and in this mod the player will seek to ascend and become more than just human, or more than just Dragonborn, because Dragonborns aren't exactly human, but he will seek to ascend beyond what he currently is. And how will he do that, you may ask? Well, by assembling the Heart of Lorkhan. The mod makes the argument that the heart is sharded, and it can be repaired if all the pieces are brought back. The Heart of Lorkhan is a can of worms that we already opened in this channel, so I'm not gonna go through it again. But basically anyone who touches it either becomes a god or despawns, or becomes a false dreamer, but you know.
Come and look upon the heart, upon the heart.
The other section of the title which says, when dead gods dream, refers to the other aspect of this mod story, which is that the gods that created the Elder Scrolls universe are all dead, which is a completely canon take according to the Annotated Annuad, by the way. Lorkhan is dead, Anu is dead, Parume is dead, Ner is dead, and even Nen, who is still alive, is a complete husk of her former self. Because if you remember, Parume tried to destroy her using his sword, and of the 11 worlds that were supposed to make up her totality, only 2 survived. There's quite a lot on this trailer, and I cannot possibly cover everything. Also, this is my own commentary, so... But I think I have a solid grasp on what's happening. So we begin with the phrase Herald the End, and if you have watched my Beyond the Reach video, you would know that this refers to the end of the Kalpa. I said it then and I'm gonna say it again now. The Elder Scrolls universe is dying a slow, painful death, and everyone who's on that ship either wants to escape, tries to find a way to escape, or is coping with their ongoing demise. I think the phrase, we are unmoored standard in a deathly fray, refers to a specific few entities that I am gonna mention shortly. And then we see the Eye of Magnus, and I don't think the Eye of Magnus is gonna be in this mod. I more or less think that this is just the developer's way of letting us know that we are in fact gonna be talking about the structures of creation, because Magnus is the architect of creation. From yesterday till tomorrow, temporal chains sever. Now, who are the we that are telling this to us? And what do they mean by temporal chain severing? Well, I was gonna drop my theory now, but given that I have found some pretty interesting stuff about this trailer, I'm gonna save my theory for later. And trust me, this trailer has a lot more going on to it than it meets the surface. And here's this guy. Now, this guy appears all throughout the trailer. In fact, he's the main poster boy of the Apotheosis project at the moment. I might be overthinking this, and this might just be a normal skeleton that just symbolizes decay, but I just want to point out that a red skeleton figure adored in red usually symbolizes Sithis. And here's the main attraction. This is where things get really interesting for me. All throughout the video, you constantly see images of this eclipse. Now, as you all might know, the world of Nen has 2 moons in it, so eclipses aren't that uncommon. What is, however, severely uncommon is a dark night. Now we're getting into moon lore, and there's no better source of moon lore than the Khajiit, so everything I'm saying here is basically coming off from them. Now, when the 2 moons eclipse and there is a dark night, a third moon shows up, and that moon is believed by the catfolk of elsewhere to be the corpse of Lorcan. This is from the book The Lunar Lorcan, by the way, I'm not just saying this shit. Further adding to the idea that the gods of this universe are basically dead and we're just playing on top of their corpses. Now we're getting to the part where the choir stops, and the witches that were talking to us previously are no longer talking to us. Instead, we're introduced to this female voice.
Reawaken. Noble Izmir, Dragon of the North. Ride forth and reclaim the pieces of Lorcan's heart. Or is it thine fate to become a memory? Faded and scattered to the winds of time.
So now this voice tells an Izmir to re-awake, meaning that they had been asleep before, and go find the pieces of Lorcan's heart. Notice the vocabulary she uses with this character. She's talking to him, and I realize that this is heavy foreshadowing, as if he's ash.
O ye failed scarab, armored head to toe in gold. Such failure ye hast wrought, ye who could only muster but a retelling once told, who couldst not alloweth wend, for ye loved them too much, and thine love was thine undoing. Ride below over a shattered corpse, at the far end of time, her flesh torn asunder, a fragmented brute within the mind of God.
So now she says a lot, and again I want to remind everyone that these are completely my theories and I might be wrong about all of this. The most important thing that she says here, in my opinion at least, is that she's referring to whoever she's talking to as a failed scarab.
O ye failed scarab.
Now, this scarab bit felt really important to me. The author of the mode even has an image of a scarab at the bottom right corner of the screen. So it feels important, right? You don't just call someone a scarab, unless, you know, you call someone a scarab. Hey scarab, how are you doing today? But there is no mention in Canon Elder Scrolls lore of scarab being something of importance anywhere. So once again, I had to dig off-brand, and I believe I have found what we're looking for. You see, a while ago, and by a while ago I mean about 2 decades ago, a very influential ex-writer for Bethesda called Michael Kerprior released a non-canon document called Love Letter from the 5th Era, The True Purpose of Tamriel. I want to read to you a very specific excerpt from that document, the scarab that transforms into the new man. That was the excerpt. The new man here refers to someone who can reach Amaranth and live beyond mortal death and basically have complete power of the dream and Sheem. I'm pretty sure that the rest of the things she's talking about here are referring to the endings of the mod, cause she says the far end of time. The thought did come across my mind that her flesh torn asunder and shattered corpse might be referring to Ner, but if that were the case, then she would say at the beginning of time, not at the end of time as she says.
At the far end of time, her flesh torn asunder, a fragmented brute within the mind of God.
But I have a theory about who she might be referring to, or the concept that she's referring to. Now, this is the Greek letter phi. The Greek letter phi is shown many times in this mod. I have no idea why the Greek letter phi is shown so many times in this mod. Thank you for listening to my amazing commentary. From here, the trailer just shows some gameplay and it looks stunning, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't really advance the plot, so I'm gonna skip forward a little bit. Also, you can, you know, watch the trailer, it will be in the description. Now, this is the part I want to pause. There is a female figure clad in ice, as if being corrupted by something. I should have maybe touched on this a bit more during the Beyond the Reach video, but in the Elder Scrolls universe, there is this theory that everything is a mirrored image of the original drama of Parume, Anu, and Ner. And so maybe something similar might be happening here. In the original trailer for this, and again I'm saying this because there's 2 trailers, there is this female voice describing how she's entrapped and that she's beyond all saving.
Are you going to save me? A damsel in distress. I am beyond saving.
So something similar to that may be happening here. We might be seeing another mirroring of the first tragedy. And if we will, that'll be really cool. Some of you might be wondering, okay, who's that female then? And I have very limited information, but with that limited information that I have a theory. It is a far-fetched theory, it is perhaps a stupid theory, but given the current circumstances, it is the only thing that makes sense to me. And then we're shown different snippets of the different Daedric realms, and they look really amazing, they look stunning. I wish I could just look at them all day, but I'm not gonna, because I have to talk about the story. Now, to me this is the most bombshell moment. First of all, we are shown all the Daedric princes, and they do look amazing, but it is what that female voice says which gets me.
O ye noble monarch, they will deceive thee. They will lead thee astray. They will hunt thee down. But thy will shall never falter. Arise, last of thine kind. by my breath. I shall guide thee.
O ye noble monarch, they will deceive thee, they will lead thee astray, they will hunt thee down. Arise, last of thine kind. Now here comes one of my theories, because I've got plenty for this video. When I heard those, arise ye noble monarch, they will deceive thee, and scattered like ash, the first thing that came to my head was Wolfrath. And I believed in that theory vehemently, like there is nothing else that makes sense. By the way, the voice talking to us right now is Kain. How do I know this? Arise by my breath, by my breath, by my breath, the breath of Kain. The person talking to us is Kain. So here we have Kain telling Wolfrath to rise up and go find the Heart of Lord Khan, which is 100% in line what Wolfrath does. He's a devout believer of Lord Khan, and he wants to see his god reinstated. So that's what my initial thought was. We're gonna play as Wolfrath, and I could have sworn by that opinion. So sworn by this theory I was, that when I talked to the main developer of the mod, I simply just asked him, are we gonna be playing as the Dragonborn or maybe someone else? Because if he said someone else, I would just know it's Wolfrath. I was waiting for him to honestly tell me, we're gonna be playing as someone else, the Dragonborn just isn't gonna be here. And then the man responded, you'll be playing as your main Dragonborn in Skyrim. Yes. Did I mention that I am not particularly good at making theories? Which is why I spend most of my time making commentaries instead. Now, Wolfrath is gonna be in this mod in one way or another, I'm sure of it. But what gets to me is the fact that Kain is talking to Wolfrath and the Dragonborn at the same time. At least that's what it seems like. Because she does talk about Awakened by My Breath and Monarch, but she also talks about Last of Thine Kind. And Wolfrath isn't the last Ysmir, he's not the last Monarch of Skyrim, and he is not the last person who could shout or be favored by Kain. And if you assume that he's a Shazarene, you can even make the argument that he's the last Shazarene of his kind. So Last of Thine Kind must talk about the Dragonborn, and that thought plagued me. But it just so happens that as I am making this video, I'm also doing my homework for Wheels of LoL. Now, in the Wheels of LoL, there's an NPC that spits facts. And I'm gonna end this talk about Dragonborn and Wolfrath by letting him talk.
Of course Talos is a god. The question is Talos a man? For starters, Talos is not a single person, but a collection of Shazarenes. Though the god of space, Lorcan, is dead, he manifests through avatars, incarnations of himself we call Shazarenes, taken from his imperial name. Talos is, in fact, merely part of the oversoul of Lorcan. And Lorcan is perhaps one of the most powerful entities in existence, if not the most powerful. Talos is surely a god, but given his status as Lorcan, it is hard to say that he was ever a man.
And the trailer ends by showing us again that red skull, a beautiful scenery, an eclipse which I told you my opinion on, and the letter F, which I have no opinion on. But that's not completely it. Before the mod ends, there is this really weird mechanical sequence in which there is this weird font and it appears as if there's some kind of machine running. So me being the curious man that I am, noticed that there is a bunch of letters on screen. My initial thought was, alright, these are Daedric letters. Nope, did not match. Then my thought was, okay, maybe this is Dovazul. Again, did not match. I tried everything, and then it landed on me. Guys, this is Dwemer text. The top one says, target ing. What does ing mean? I don't know. And honestly, that one doesn't matter. The one that does matter, and the one that matters severely, is the one on the left side of the screen. Because it says, Divine Core Active. When I first translated this, and I translated this manually because there isn't like a Dwemer translator, and I essentially translated it, and I remember thinking to myself, oh god, is this the new medium? Cause keep in mind, so far the Dwemer haven't come up once during this video. My mind didn't even go to their language until the very end when I was all out of options. And Divine Core Active can only mean one thing, the Heart of Lorcan. So my thought is that we're gonna see some kind of new medium in this mod. Cause for the new medium, Divine Core is the Heart of Lorcan. The Heart of Lorcan is what we're after, and the new medium and the Heart of Lorcan is what turns someone into a god, aka what gives them Apotheosis. Ain't that a beautiful narrative? Then we get a bunch of links, we get the release date, and that's the trailer.
As we meander through thy shattered domain, in the twilight of eternity, we glimpse the final coherent thoughts of a failed...
I can't believe you fell for it. We're far from being done here. See, the observant amongst you may have noticed this. Oh yeah, we're going down a rabbit hole. The QR code here takes you to a paste pin, and the password for this paste pin is simply Sundering, and if you open it, it reveals this. Now, this text isn't very important to us right now, but what is important is what can be found at the bottom of this paste pin, which is a URL to another YouTube video. Morse code on the video and Morse code on the description. Now, after translating the Morse code, which is pretty simple, is the part where I threw my hands in the air. Massive shoutouts to everyone who figured this stuff out. But basically, the Morse code takes you to another paste pin, and the password for that paste pin is Namira. When you open that paste pin, you get a bunch of useless stuff, but at the end, you also get the link to this video.
Her essence, a hallowed goblet did spill forth. The purity she once bore now mingle. Lo, thou heart and soul of thy core smeared and tinted. Thou bearest the burden of unwanted fragments, enmeshed in restive visions, yearning for freedom. Behold, a blue star descends, a tear in the sky, an omen of impending upheaval. Oh, how we await with bated breath the advent of the new man. As we meander through thy shattered domain, in the twilight of eternity, we glimpse the final coherent thoughts of a failed, an echo of what once was. A creation torn within the depths of thy divine mind.
Now, Newman is what becomes of the scarab after it goes through Amaranth. But that's not the most important thing about this video. The most important thing about this video, hands down, is the mention of the blue star. In the entirety of the Elder Scrolls universe, there is exactly one blue star. Mnemoli.
An omen of impending upheaval.
Now, Mnemoli is considered a star orphan, which are a group of Aedra that fled the realm of creation soon after Magnus made it. And she's believed to be a child of Magnus. What is particularly interesting about her is that not only she's a daughter of Magnus, but that she's also associated with dragon breaks, or other untime events. So here's my final, ultimate, stupid theory. The person who talked to us on the first trailer, as well as the person that's getting corrupted here, is Mnemoli the Star Orphan.
I have little time left. But maybe there is still hope for you.
And the things talking to us at the beginning through the screen are other Star Orphans just like her. And the thing Kain talked about when she mentioned a shattered body and her flesh torn apart at the end of time is referring to her. How time works in this mod is gonna be a very interesting thing to observe. I told you it was gonna be far-fetched, but hey, that's all I can do with what I have, and I don't have much. And you don't have much either, because what you have is me. Thank you for watching this video. A bit different, I know. How do I reasonably end such a video? Well, I will end this video by saying this. Dio and the rest of his team have put on an amazing mod, and I'm pretty sure that when it comes out, I'm gonna make a 6-hour video on it. I didn't get to talk to him that much. I just asked him about the character question I mentioned earlier, and he also gave me a bunch of links I should research before doing the video, which I did. In his most recent update, he mentions that what little free time he has usually just goes to this mod, which is incredible. I would be a fool not to give him the highest praise I could possibly give him for a mod that hasn't come out yet. What was my point by making this video? One, I just want to say this is going to be an incredible mod. I am super excited for it. You should be excited for it too. But the second thing I want to say is we have yet to see the best of the modding community. Glen Moriel, Unslat, the Beyond projects, the Skywinds, the Skyblivions. We have a lot to look forward to before Elder Scrolls 6 comes out. And I get the feeling when I'm making the videos that sometimes it feels like digging through old dirt. Most of the mods I do videos on are pretty old, but I don't want anyone thinking for a moment that this is a dead community or that Skyrim modding is a thing of the past. In fact, I'm just gonna make a wild claim. This is probably the best time to get into Skyrim modding. There is so much stuff already, and there is so much coming out. It's insane. And all this is the product of the labor of love people like Dio give to this community. So from me personally, thank you for giving me something to rag on for the better part of 3 hours. So my second point is this. Get excited. Good shit is coming up. And I'll be here to talk about it. Ain't that great? Wheels of LoL coming soon enough. There was a creation modcon recently, and yes, we have a creation modcon now, and every single project shown there was a banger. I'm gonna leave that in the description as well. But for now, I just want to close this video by showing you a little snippet of Dio's interview during modcon, and it was during that clip that I thought to myself, oh yeah, if this mod comes out, it's gonna be a good mod. So a guy asks him, why is Mehrunes Dagon blind? And he responds with this.
I wanted him to be menacing. Obviously, he's got the forearms because he's got the whatever. But he's the Lord of Destruction, and destruction is blind.
Everyone, have a good day. And remember, the best has come, and also it has yet to come.